Yo, what's up? I'm here with UFC featherweight Dana White Contender Series winner, Jordan Griffin. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
What's going on, man?
So, when we were scheduling this, your name on Twitter is Native Psycho. So, every time you'd hit me up, it would just say Native Psycho. And then whatever you said, like, do you have any idea how much that scared the shit out of me every time?
Uh, nice.
Yeah, it's quite the nickname. But you made your way to the UFC on the Contender Series. So like, what's the mindset walking in there knowing like I can't just win this? I have to like really, I have to be spectacular. Like a win's not enough. Like, what's that like?
Man, it's a lot of pressure. I'll tell you that much. It's a lot of pressure. I gotta really separate myself, like separate like my life situations and what's going on outside of the cage and what goes on in the gym and getting, in preparation and getting my mind there. So it's a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I've been doing this for over a decade. You know what I mean? So it's really, I was doing it before and getting paid no money. Now I'm
Yeah.
getting paid decent money, so it's worth it. It's a little bit more worth it.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I imagine like the worst part is what's the anticipation? Like, so you go in, you get the win first round, but what's it like the anticipation? Like you win, but now you just have to sit there and wait and see, like, were you the guy that got the contract? What's that like?
Uh, it's you know what? It was pretty nerve wracking. I think I was just so excited about winning. Like I had gotten, I had gone on so many win streaks, and even up to that, like going to the contenders, I had won like four straight. So like whenever I win, I like forget I'm even getting paid. I forget like there's even something on the line. I'm just like excited to win. You work really hard on this stuff, all the time. So yeah, it's like you don't even think about that. Like he picked me last. I think he was like, yeah, you know what? And I think we'll sign Jordan Griffin. And I was like, oh shit! Like I wasn't even acknowledging that like he had already really pretty much passed me up,
Yeah.
and like that. Then on the last second, he was like, you know what? I think we're gonna take him. So I was like, I was excited. I mean, it's definitely a blessing, dude. It's changed my life. So
Yeah, I mean, first round choke, like they got to give it to you. Like, what else? What more can you do? Get him out of there in the first round. But so, like, how do you celebrate after you get the first round win? You do all the training, you win, you get the contract. Like, I imagine that's got to be the biggest win of your career at that point. Like, what do you do after? Like, what tops that?
uh, I that's a good question. I went back to my room and I laid underneath the covers and I went to bed. I had a huge concussion.
Oh,
'Cause, yeah, I had a huge concussion and it was like super bad. Like the lights, everything. And you're in Vegas, so all the lights are like really, everywhere. You can't look anywhere without there being lights. So I literally was closing my eyes and I had my hand on my mom's shoulder.
oh.
And she was like, I was just following her through the casino. I look like a blind, like I was blind. And we had dinner, and then I literally went back to the room and I laid underneath the covers and I just like went to bed.
Yeah,
So
I can't imagine there's too many worse places to deal with a concussion than Las Vegas. I imagine it's probably the last place you want to be when your
yeah,
head's knocked up.
yeah, for real.
Yeah. So then you get to the UFC and you beat TJ Brown by guillotine. That was awesome too. Like you were on the bottom from side control. Like you never see that. And it was so funny because when you had the choke in, Michael Bisping even said on the broadcast, like, if you're strong, maybe you get it. He said, I doubt you get this choke. Like, how cool was it to be like, fuck you, Bisping? Like, I got it anyway.
Dude, Bisping's the homie, man. He's actually a pretty cool dude. And yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh man. And then I just like afterwards, he's like, apparently Jordan Griffin is extremely strong. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I think going into these next fights, like it really did blow. Like, I'm 1-3 in the UFC. I'm not, I put it out there. Like, it's cool. I'm in the UFC. I remember somebody telling me, hey, Jordan, and this is like managers, wherever I worked, like everybody knew what I wanted to do literally for 10 years straight. I worked so many places. The managers all knew like what my goal was. It's like, I want to go to the UFC. And I like picked up all these little tad bits of advice from all of them. But the one that really stuck out was, Jordan, when you make it to the UFC, don't just make it to the UFC and just say you made it and then just wash out. I was like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think, being 1-3 in the UFC it's really it's motivated me. And at the same time, at first though, it was very like, man, like, what the fuck, what I'm doing something, I need to change something up. And so I really changed up my mindset. And I tell people this too, like, if you look at my record when I started out, fighting professionally, I was 1-3, and then I went on these huge win streaks. I had to change my mindset. I had to change the way I trained. And that's what I've really done this camp as far as like the pace. Like I like the way like Max Holloway, or you see like Paul Felder, or like Hooker, like those dudes, like their pace, or who else? Poirier's the pace is like just on point. So like I feel like I know I'm able to fight like that. And if I can bring that in this next fight and from here on out, like I'll do very well. So
that's good. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you're in for a pretty big win streak. If you went, I mean, your record's what, 18-8 now. If you started 1-3, I mean, that's a pretty big run in between. So yeah, I'm ready. You said you had a lot of jobs before. You have any? What were some of the jobs you were working before you got into the UFC?
Man. Dude, I worked at Number One Chinese. I delivered food. I worked at PF Chang's. I was like a bar back, or I did something at PF Chang's. Oh, I ran the food out as a food runner, and I did a couple of hosts. I was a host. I was a hostess or a host. But I did that. Let's see. I worked at Abercrombie Kids for like a while. Yeah, dude. I was there. I was a manager at Hollister. I worked in like a warehouse for like a construction company. Dude, I was a roamer, dude. I don't know. Everywhere I went, people were like super supportive. So it was cool.
That's awesome. Like Abercrombie Kids makes you laugh. Like some moms in there buying your toddler a fucking coat, and the guy helping her out, it's like fighting in the cage on the weekends. Like who would have thought?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was a CNA for 5 years. I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to go to school for. I was a CNA for like 5 years, and I used to go to like veterans houses and just hang out with them and assist them and stuff. So I did that for a very long time. That was pretty cool. And people are like, how did you go from that to like fighting? And I'm
like, that's awesome. Yeah. So the next one, Louis Saldana, April 10th, Vegas, right? Did they announce where it is? Vegas. That's awesome. No concussions this time.
Yeah, nothing.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're ready for a run. Like you don't seem like a big shit talking guy, but like I'll be your guy. Like if you need like trash talking, like you just have to like back it up physically if he comes at me.
You know, it's really weird. It's like, and that's another thing I need to start changing is maybe not the shit talking, but like if you shit talk with me, I'm gonna start coming back at you. And it's kind of like the same thing in the fights. Like if you come at me at a certain level or pace, I'll match it, but I never like go above it, even though I can. Yeah. So like, I want to start out where I'm setting the pace. I'm setting the structure of the fight instead of always matching my opponents and getting them in the long run or catching them along the way. I think I just need to like set I need to set the bar basically. So that's kind of the goal from here on out.
Yeah. Set the bar. So like weigh-in tactics, like, if he comes at you at the weigh-in, like we can expect like you're going at him twice as hard.
Just matching. Oh yeah. For sure. I mean, everyone's been real nice, but I think too, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, like coming into the UFC. I was nervous at the TJ Brown one because he, because if, that was my third fight, if I lose that fight, it's like, you're out of the UFC. So it always feels like, man, this is it. And I'm kind of at a point, I've been here so many different times. I'm at a point where I like have nothing to lose. I'm here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just like, if you want to fucking come at me, if you want to fucking get crazy, like I got my name for a reason. Like I slam you on your fucking head and keep like, you know what I mean? So like, that's like where my head's at. And like, I think for a while, like the UFC is just such a new experience. And it's like, wow, you dream about, like me, is 10 years of like, this is what I'm going to do. I told everybody I'm going to be in the UFC. I was 1-3, dude. People are like, oh yeah, okay, we'll see. I'm going to be in the UFC. I'm going to be in the UFC. And then when it comes, you're like, holy shit, I did it. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's a new experience. I'm really starting to figure a lot of things out, outside of the cage too, as financially and what my next moves are. And so I'm excited. 2021 is going to be a great year.
That's awesome, man. I'm really excited for you. I'm happy you did this. And I talking to you, like, I'm like, this guy's fucking winning. Like you're going to fuck this dude up. I'm excited. Thanks so much for doing this, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.